Joining us live and in the studio, Dakarai Larriett. He is running for U.S. Senate. He wants to get the Democrat nomination. Looking at your website here, first off, well designed, beautiful. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Nice
It's back
job
up
with
and
it.
running. You know, we got hacked over the weekend.
Oh no.
Second time. I've been on the phone with the FBI. This is
Oh,
real.
no.
This is real.
Well, that would explain why the first thing they had to do was verify it was human.
Yes.
And it took longer than usual because they're like, we're not detecting a soldier. I'm like, I know. That's me.
Somebody doesn't want us in the race, and I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, all right. You're ticking off all the right people, right? Okay, so you're the son of an Army veteran, traveled all over the place, like a lot of Army brats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Longtime community volunteer, successful entrepreneur. What have you entrepreneured?
Gosh, so many different things, but my most prevalent business is in the pet space. So pet grooming products. I started out of my garage,
Is that right?
and I had a little puppy that was afraid of thunderstorms. So I started making aromatherapy pet grooming products, shampoos, sprays, candles to calm the pets. And now my products are sold all over the world.
Yeah, we were just talking about the storms and his dog under
Yeah.
the bed, and I
Yeah.
was like, well, maybe you can hook up with him on the dog
Check out my
products there.
website. Yeah.
I need to go take a look at his website. Yeah, a dog that's allergic to everything, you know?
Oh no.
Yeah.
We're hypoallergenic because
Excellent.
of those allergies. So.
Should
Yep.
definitely look into that. All right, enough about the dogs. Let's talk about your run for the Senate. What exactly, first off, what makes you different from the other major Democrat candidates? Well, I guess any of the Democratic candidates that are running. Most notably,
Three others.
Doug Jones, who is, the guy who I think I'm sorry, he's running for governor, isn't he? 'Cause
Yeah,
I keep
he's governor.
forgetting that. He's
This
running
is
for
his old
governor.
I know,
seat.
we've been
Right.
doing Senate and governor, and
Right.
it does get a little confusing.
I can't
Yeah,
keep it straight.
U.S. Senate
To
seat
be honest with you.
Democrat.
But yeah, what sets you apart from the other candidates, and why do you think you're better than they are?
We're all relatively new to running for office. So that's kind of the level set, but I still bring 20 years of experience in public service. So I like to say I work from the outside in advocacy, addressing homelessness issues, addressing drug addiction as a leader of the National Harm Reduction Coalition, addressing food security. I drive for Meals on Wheels here in Alabama and across the county, and also volunteer at Humane Society right over in Homewood.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Yeah, this is interesting too. So it's you. We talk with Kyle Sweetser.
Yeah.
He's another one. Everett West, not yet. Mark Wheeler is the other one, and that is the thing. I mean, you obviously want to win this primary. What sets you apart from these other three? And again, you've listed a couple of those things, but specifically when you talk about being in the U.S. Senate. What do you bring to the state of Alabama? What are some of your goals if you were to win?
Yeah, in addition to my 20 years of serving the community, so understanding its needs intimately, it's 20 years of working in corporate America at the highest level, solving problems, bringing people together collaboratively, and not being partisan, frankly. I never walked into a corporate boardroom and asked people if there's a D or an R behind their name. It's really about ultimately satisfying the needs of the consumer, the customer, getting the product out the door. And that's what I've done for 20 years in supply chain.
Well, here's the problem. And it's not that I don't believe you, because I don't know you, so I don't believe anybody. We hear this all the time from a Democratic level, and I mean, we watch races all over the country. I'm not just talking about in Alabama. We watch races all over the country. You see these Democrats, I'm my own man. I'll stand up and I'll do what's right, and I love my state, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They get there, and 10 minutes later, they're walking in lockstep with Chuck Schumer on everything, literally everything down the line.
Yeah.
And you go, 5 minutes ago, you were an independent guy. What the hell happened here? Right now, the only guy I can point to in the Senate who fits that bill is John Fetterman. And he's ticking everybody off. Not me personally, but he's ticking everybody off. Are you willing to make your own party mad by going against them if that's what needs to be done?
Well, Richard, I'll tell you right now, I'm fighting an entire state. In fact, a governor, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. So one of the primary reasons I got into this cycle was because of my wrongful arrest in the state of Michigan. And I was tortured by the Michigan State Police. My driver's license was confiscated. We later found by body cam that the state police were trying to plant drugs in my vehicle. I had 3 meetings with Governor Whitmer's office. She did absolutely nothing. And I stood in front of the Detroit Public Safety Headquarters and called her out, as well as the head of the state police. So I have flown close to the sun many times before, and I'll continue to do so.
What did they claim you were being arrested for? Aside from the planning.
Allegedly for making a rolling stop. And that translated into losing my driver's license, being jailed, and spending tens of thousands of dollars in legal expenses.
And they say we're racist in Alabama.
Wow.
Figure that
Yeah.
one out, huh?
That's
Wow.
pretty
Yeah,
serious.
pretty
Where are
wild.
you with it now?
Well, I just wrote a book about it. It's called Don't Flush. It is a best-selling book. And unfortunately, due to our qualified immunity laws, my case was dismissed. And the police continue to harass people. I continue to be contacted by other victims of these officers. And that is why I have started to author my own legislation called the Motorist Bill of Rights, which keeps all of us safe in our interactions with law enforcement. And I talk about that in my book. I also have some draft legislation on my website, and I've spoken at the Alabama State House about this.
Oh, you gave us a copy of this book, by the way,
I
which we
did.
very much appreciate. I don't think of it as a bribe, do you? It's
No,
not.
Oh, no,
absolutely
not at
not.
all.
No, no.
If you were to sign it, then we.
Then it might be.
Well, wait until May 19th when I
Okay.
win this election.
All right.
The value's
And
going
then
to
you
jump.
can come back and look inside.
That's right. Then we'll be all done. Where can we buy this if someone wanted to buy a copy of it?
It's available at bookstores throughout the state of Alabama.
Mhm.
It's available on Amazon. And if you are an audio person, I imagine your listeners are, you can check out Apple as well as Amazon and get the audio versions of the book.
So did you publish it through Amazon? Is that where you did it?
Self-published,
Yeah,
yes.
that's great.
Yep, self-published. I wanted to get it out quickly and really share my story. And we may go back and edit it and expand the book and publish with the traditional publisher in the future.
When you redo the audiobook, I want you to keep somebody with a great voice in mind.
He's expensive.
I mean,
Oh,
Valerie.
okay.
I was talking about
I know,
Valerie.
Richard.
Valerie.
But he's very, very
I
expensive.
think that would be a
I'm
lot of
much
fun.
cheaper.
Well,
Yeah.
I tried to do it myself, and I was like, "This is a lot of work."
It
So
really is.
I actually did hire somebody with a great voice to do it.
Oh,
You see, you missed it, Richard. You missed out. You should have met him before the
Given the fact that you would be one of 100 senators,
Yeah.
there's going to be a time or two when you're tilting at windmills, I'm sure. Are you good at persuading other people? Are you good at getting other people on your side?
Yeah, I think that's what I've been doing for the last year is selling my candidacy. And in the beginning, party leadership were like, it's never going to happen. And now I think it's very clear I'm the front runner in this race based upon all the media attention. I've been featured in Essence Magazine, USA Today. The excitement is building. And when people get to know me, they love me.
I have a subscription to Essence. I haven't seen that. I'm going to take a look. I'll see.
Really?
Yes.
You're an Essence
I have
reader?
Essence and Jet.
Really?
Of course not.
He's pulling your leg.
I've also been in very conservative journals as well.
Very
So,
nice.
Yeah.
American Spectator. So,
Excellent.
from every end of the spectrum, folks are getting excited about this race.
Very good. Can you hold on for a second? I'd like to keep you here if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll be right back at 7:46 with Dixon Vining and Dakarai Larriett, a Democrat who would like the nomination to run for Senate this year.
My segment. Way to go.
Deadpan that. I was like, what? I don't even have a subscription.
That's funny.
You're like, Essence and Jet. I didn't know Jet was still published.
I
actually.
know.
Oh, okay,
We love your
okay.
sense of humor.
Hilarious.
We try to keep it lively.
Oh,
It's
I
nice,
love
you know,
it. I love
It
it.
can get real heavy if you're not careful. You know how
Oh
it
my
is.
gosh.
Listen to y'all every morning, love the show. Well, Justice, you have no
You have no life.
life. No. Bless your heart. No, we love you. I mean it sincerely. Uh-huh. If they wouldn't, what's that? Wow, okay. We'll be dropping F-bombs on our
Uh-oh.
text line, man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see my
Exit
good,
1 to exit 6 is backed up on.
see my good friend Chad is on his way over.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Oh,
Chad Chick Martin.
Chig, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be on the phone.
Yeah, he'll be on phone.
On the
not in
phone.
studio,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah, I know he lives down in Enterprise.
Does he?
Yeah.
Look at that.
We do have a geographic advantage being in Birmingham.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. My buddy Kyle, he has to drive everywhere. Nothing happens in Mobile.
No.
Nothing besides Mardi Gras. I had to travel for that. Have y'all been down there for Mardi Gras?
I have.
Oh
I've been
my
down.
gosh,
It's been
so
a
fun.
long time, but I've been down. It is fun.
It's really nice.
It is.
I happened to be there during the mass shooting though, so
Ooh.
I walked through it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Actually, there were two, each end of Dauphin Street,
Mm.
same time. Unbelievable.
Mm.
Oh no, I would not care for that.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, you're running a statewide race. That's gotta be a bit of a chore.
Oh yeah.
A lot of traveling.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
knocking on doors. Got a lot of rubber chickens.
Yeah.
Having
Oh
dinner.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh. $100 rubber chickens. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, that's my the hire I'm most excited about is a driver.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking at, obviously after this weekend, driver and security. We waited as long as we could on security, but driver is what I want.
You, I mean, how do you hire a driver? Do you go to a pool of people, or do you
Oh,
go
there are people who like to, just middle-aged men who like to drive and don't have
Okay.
anything else to do.
So I've
That's
got-
easy to find.
I've got
Security,
one for
yeah.
you.
Okay, take your card.
He drives Uber right now.
Oh, good.
He
Yeah,
drives Uber and
exactly.
Lyft,
There's
and,
so many Uber drivers too that they would rather just something more permanent.
Yeah,
But yeah.
well, he's got.
I might could help you with security if you
Yeah.
need that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not
I'll give you my
personally,
card.
but I know you.
Oh,
Not me.
Oh, you're
Pal
packing.
wants to ride
Okay.
around with me. Can be my security.
Valerie couldn't make it to work today.
Oh, that was fun. When I started, my team they were like, don't eat anything, none of the rubber chickens, don't eat anything, don't drink anything, don't get packages delivered. I was like, okay. So I was nervous for about a month, then I went right back to what I was doing, but now I need to take it seriously now that we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who gets all of her mail at the UPS store.
Yeah.
She's just like, I can't trust having stuff delivered to my door.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Package that shows up and it's ticking.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Birmingham, hello.
Yeah.
The long history of that.
So is your family all here in Birmingham?
Mostly
Parents?
here. We started in Prattville, Altonga County, and now we're up here. I talk about that in the book. My grandparents' altercation with KKK. It's just been a long history of civil rights in my family.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll dig into it a little bit more
Yeah.
as soon as Phil Carter gets done.
For the traffic.
Oh boy.
We love Phil Carter. He's just always so peppy about the traffic, even when there's death and destruction in the traffic center. And I'm like,
Car
you just
Oh,
talked about it.
Far too excited about
Right, the
car.
car's on fire. What?
Well, there might be people in there too.
Hold on. I normally get to travel off peak, which has been good about this campaign. So
Yeah. God, traveling through.
yeah.
Traveling through Birmingham at rush hour is one of the biggest
Oh, I
pains.
avoid
Well, at least we're not Atlanta.
I was gonna say, that's
Oh.
the
Woo.
much worse.
I'll take Birmingham all day over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy over there.
If it's happening in Alabama, across the country, or around the world, we're talking about it. This is Talk 99.5.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Mm.
7:51. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. It's Dixon and Vining on this Wednesday. That it looks like they're in. I think they're in and out right now officially for Homewood. I think it's going to be coming back this
Well, a
morning.
little sunshine.
Got some
We
sunshine.
sun.
I forgot what that looked like.
I did
for a
too.
minute.
It's beautiful out there.
But the rain will be coming back tonight, somewhere around 11, 10 or 11 in our neck of the woods, and will stick around right on through the early morning hours, or so they tell us. Not that we can't use it, man. We went through a long dry spell, so pretty happy to have it. We're chatting with Dakarai Larriett. He is a Democrat who would like the Democratic nomination for Senate in the state of Alabama. I'm looking at his website, Dakarai for Alabama. First off, he's got a picture of himself with his dog, which already makes me a
And that's a
fan.
winner right here.
Right off the bat.
That's
Already
not
a fan.
that's a campaign manager.
That's,
That's smart. You got a good one.
It's a poodle, right?
Yeah, a miniature poodle.
Miniature poodle. I
Yeah.
had one that looked
Oh.
just like that. His name was
Oh.
Pepper.
Pepper, okay.
One of the most annoying, yappy dogs
But yours
ever.
probably isn't annoying.
Still.
Oh, I just lost him 3 months ago.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Have you
Yeah.
looked for him? Did you put it in the lost pet?
No,
Oh,
he's
no.
no longer with
Richard.
us.
Sorry. Family pet cremation. A friend.
It's a
of a
beautiful
friend.
dog, and I'm
Throw that out
sorry
there.
for the loss.
Very
Yes, thank you so much.
Then you go on to talk about healthcare, and I find this interesting because you say you think it's time that we work together to pursue common sense solutions that put people and patients over politics and insurance companies. I think that statement alone is worth the price of admission, because right now, what we have going on in the House and the Senate, as you're no doubt aware, is you got one side that says, no, we should be using a lot of federal money to lower people's insurance rates. In other words, you want to take my tax dollars and use it to lower that guy's insurance rates. And another side that says, no, we need to rearrange this entire process, because the Affordable Care Act was supposed to make things affordable. And if we're having to use a lot of federal money, that's not affordable. And by the way, all that money is going to insurance companies, as you point out here,
Yeah.
which I find very frustrating.
Yeah.
What is it going to take to get everybody on the same page and get them excited about revamping the system? We clearly need to rethink the thing from the bottom up, don't we?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And actually, I spent part of my career in healthcare, and this onion of healthcare and insurance is just very, very complicated. We've got to peel back so many layers. I do strongly believe that we need to provide those subsidies as a stopgap, but that's not the long-term solution. It's unacceptable. ACA was never affordable, frankly. Folks were still paying $1,000 a month for premiums, but then we've got to offer a public option. And I think ultimately people are going to fall in love with it, and it will force insurance companies to be more competitive and do right by the customer.
I wanted to ask you too, this has been discussed a lot with a couple of the past elections and questions and things that have happened in past elections. The SAVE Act. What are your thoughts on, everybody providing a valid ID to be able to vote? Because one side will say, some on one side will say, that's not necessary, we don't need to do that. And on the other side, it's, we're trying to preserve elections and the integrity of these elections, and you would think that both sides would want that. Every American would want that. Where do you stand on that?
I think the SAVE Act is a solution in search of a problem. We have virtually no election fraud in this country. I mean, you saw the turnout in August for our municipals. We can barely get the legitimate folks to turn out. So there aren't that many people trying to commit election fraud. I think it was something like 20% in Birmingham. Now, I have no issue with presenting an ID. We've got to make IDs affordable and accessible to everyone. They are not currently. But I am concerned about the SAVE Act in particular because it disenfranchises women who've changed their name when they get married. It disenfranchises Black folks and minorities who may not have access to an ID. That's just a reality for some people. So I just want to make sure that we're not eliminating people's right to vote.
So you're saying Black people can't get IDs? Is that what you're suggesting? Why
Oh,
can't
not at
Black
all.
people get IDs?
No, it's not that they can't get IDs, but many people just simply don't have IDs. They're unbanked. They just don't have the same economic advantages as the general population. That's a reality.
I find that difficult to believe.
But that's what the data shows.
I find it difficult to believe because when we started voter ID in Alabama, the AL.com did their best to find people who didn't have IDs to vote, and they found two of them, one of whom had his wallet stolen, and the other one of whom was 102 years old and had never had an ID because she'd never needed one. They both got to cast provisional ballots, and in the long run, both of those provisional ballots were accepted. Two people in the entire state, Dakarai. I just find it hard to believe that people can't get IDs. I think they can. I think we're using that as an excuse. And when you say, well, there's virtually no voter fraud, I think a lot of it is because people aren't looking for it. When we do find voter fraud, and we found 300,000 ballots in Fulton County in Georgia that were fraudulently accepted that didn't have matching signatures, that sounds like a lot of voter fraud to me. I mean, I'm a little worried about that.
I absolutely have no issue with people presenting their identification, but we've got to make sure that those IDs are accessible for everyone.
I agree.
And there is, frankly, a financial burden, and that can become a poll tax. That's my concern.
It was our previous Secretary of State.
John Merrill.
John Merrill used to hand out his cell phone number and we'll come to you. Now, it doesn't get much easier than that. We'll actually come to you free of charge. We're going to create an ID for you. I love that idea. There's no reason we couldn't do that nationwide. Everybody should be doing that, in my opinion. All right, what else are your really big issues? What are the ones that are overwhelming for you that you're saying? I mean, you're running A, because you were falsely arrested and they attempted to prosecute you. B, because you love pets. I think that's important. Well, aside from healthcare, what's a big one?
Well, I actually started the campaign by saying we need leaders who listen. So before I even came up with my policy positions, I did a poll and I traveled the state. So the three pillars are actually education. That's the first pillar. We've got to invest in our young people and create the next generation of leaders in the state, make pre-K affordable, make college affordable. I was able to go to Alabama on a free ride. I want everyone. Yes, Roll Tide. I want everyone to have that opportunity to come out with opportunity, not debt. We talked about healthcare, and then finally the economic opportunity. Too many people are being left behind in the state. When I get up to areas like Huntsville, folks feel like they can't even live in their communities anymore because there's this influx of industry, which is great. It's very exciting, but folks feel like they're not getting those jobs. The companies are bringing their own employees in. So how do we ensure that we're matching the talent we have in state with the job opportunities. When we give incentives, our tax dollars, let's make sure that we are creating a win-win scenario, and then we're also investing in infrastructure so people can get to work, they're not stuck in traffic.
Have anybody who endorsed you? Anybody big? Anybody
Yeah,
big?
so we've been rolling out endorsements each week. We were endorsed by Patricia Todd, former State House Representative, Antoine Womack, Birmingham Board of Education, and we are rolling out some really exciting endorsements in the education space and healthcare space this week. We also have rolled out some community leaders like Bernard Similton, former head of the NAACP, so really exciting, and you can view those on our website.
Most excellent. Speaking of your website, what is it so people can go there and donate
Check
and
it
whatever?
out.
Yes, DakariLarriett.com. Click Get Involved to participate in this campaign, whether that's volunteering or hosting an event at your home. And then, of course, you can click that big donate button. We'd love that as well.
Yeah, LARRIETT.
DakariLarriett.com.
Yep, so
Or
you
just
have the
Google
correct
me.
spelling.
I'm the only one.
Don't forget to add us to your media page. Now that
Yes,
you,
we
you know,
will do
you
that.
Throw those
We
on there and
do.
make sure
We
you get
will.
this interview up there, and people will be like, "That was the best. It's the most amazing interview. Everybody's talking about how good the interview was. Nobody else did an interview as good as Dakarai." I love it.
Best of luck to you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
in. We
much for
appreciate
having me,
it.
Valerie and
Yeah,
Richard. I appreciate
absolutely.
it.
8 o'clock with Dixon Vining Talk, Talk995.com. In about a half an hour, we'll be chatting with a Democratic candidate for governor, Chad Chig Martin. Do you really want the nickname Chig? Is that something
He
that
does.
people? Okay.
Obviously, he does.
That's, I mean,
People
it's like,
remember it.
That's like Richard Yellow Mountain Fever Tick Dixon. Like, that's not a positive.
We'll get
Why
the
does that
story. We're
do-
going to find out the story.
Want some answers.